So lately I've been scrolling around YouTube looking at videos related to Sharkbite, and I could find plenty of videos ranking each boat in the game. So I thought, hey, maybe I could make one myself as well. And considering Sharkbite 2 is just around the corner, that's what I did. However, I'll be only ranking the obtainable boats in the game, so boats like the Santa Sleigh from each year aren't going to be ranked, making this ranking contain a total of 27 boats. I'll also be using 3 factors to rank all the boats. Durability, which is how well a boat does when a shark gets close to it, maneuverability, which is how well a boat does outrunning a shark, and price. All the factors will be given a score from 1 to 10, making the highest score a 30. Also, keep in mind that this is my opinion based on experience. I have every boat in this ranking and have tested all of them, so this ranking is entirely my opinion. I'll be working my way from the worst to the best, and without further ado, let's get into it. And the worst boat in Sharkbite is the Unicorn Paddleboat. You probably expected this. I don't even know what to comment about this boat. It's just terrible. It gets one shot by even the great white shark, so I'll give it a 3 out of 10 for durability. As for maneuverability, it's one of the worst. It's just so hard to control and drive this thing properly, so I'll give it a 2 out of 10 for maneuverability. As for price, 2 out of 10. It's literally a worse version of the starter boats, though I will give this boat credit, it does look cool, and it is a bummer that it sucks so much. That gets it a 7 out of 30, deeming it the worst boat in the game. Next we have the Catamaran. Now I'm not a huge fan of this boat, but I do see its uses, mostly in its durability. Since it's a huge boat, the shark is going to have to spend quite a while having to eat it up, allowing you to deal some damage in the process, but that alone isn't going to kill the shark, so it gets a 4 out of 10 for durability. As for maneuverability, it just sucks. It barely moves, so I'll give it a 2 out of 10. As for price, I honestly think the starter boats are better in most situations, so I'll give it a 2 out of 10. That gets it an 8 out of 30. Next we have the Ducky Boat. I'd give it the same exact score as the Unicorn Paddleboat, except bring up the maneuverability a little more, and considering it's free, it gets a 6 out of 20, giving it a total score of 9 out of 30. Next we have the Yacht. I honestly don't see much of a use for this boat. It's just a bigger version of the starter boats and just slow in general, so I'll give it a 5 out of 10 for durability. As for maneuverability, it gets a 3 out of 10, and for price, a 2 out of 10, putting it at 10 out of 30. Next you have the Sailboat. This was kind of expected, though you might be confused as to why I put it above 3 other boats. Here's why. First of all, it's one of the starter boats, so I won't take price into consideration. As for maneuverability, I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Despite being a sailboat, it's not the worst thing on the planet, so I'm okay with it. But for durability, it gets a 4 out of 10. Why? I mean, it's small, so the shark can just one-tap it. Well, there's another benefit to being small. The shark will have a hard time seeing you. Don't believe me? Join a Sharkbite server, get an auto clicker, and just AFK. Once you come back, you'll be surprised to know that you made any shark do. But why is that? And what do I mean when I say the shark has a hard time seeing you? Well, when you get on a boat, the boat particles only appear when you're in the driver's seat. If you're just standing on it, no particles will appear, making the shark have to find you manually by actually looking for you. And that's why being small helps. Granted, it won't work every time, and you will get absolutely destroyed when the shark finds you, but it sure does fool new players who just emerge from the water whenever they see any particles. Let me make it clear, that's the only thing this boat is good at. Everything else just sucks. So overall, it gets a 7 out of 20, making it a 10.5 out of 30. Next we have the Patrol Boat. Like the Sailboat, it's another one of the starter boats, so I won't take price into consideration. Other than that, I'm not a fan of the way this boat is structured, making the driver's seat pretty obvious to the shark, so it gets a 3 out of 10 for durability. As for maneuverability, it does a pretty okay job getting you from one part of the map to another, but certainly not outrunning the shark. So it gets a 4 out of 10, tallying to a score of 7 out of 20 or 10.5 out of 30. Next we have the Fishing Boat. I'd say it's kind of similar to the Patrol Boat, except maybe bring up the durability by 1 since it's slightly bigger, tallying to a score of 8 out of 20 or 12 out of 30, deeming it the best starter boat. Next we have the Research Boat. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know why people use this boat. I mean, I get why people buy it. That cage thing does look cool until you realize it's a literal death trap. Durability wise, not that great. The cage does more harm than good because of the particles, so I'll give it a 5 out of 10. As for maneuverability, not that great either, though I wouldn't call it bad, so it gets a 5 out of 10. Then we have its price, 950 T. Yeah, no. That is not what an average boat with a cage attached to it. so it gets a 3 out of 10, tallying to a score of 13 out of 30. Next we have the Swat Boat. I think it's okay honestly, but trust me when I say the multiple seats do not make this boat better in any way. Its durability is okay, you might survive a shark attack hitting your boat, but I wouldn't guarantee it, so I'd give it a 4 out of 10. As for maneuverability, it's also okay, so I'd give it a 5 out of 10. As for its price, it's also, you guessed it, okay. Look, I'm sorry I don't have much to say other than it just being an okay boat. It's not good nor is it bad, and it's certainly worth its price of being a reliable boat. So I give it a 5 out of 10, tallying to a score of 14 out of 30. Next we have the Submarine. Now, I know why people buy this boat. It's one of the 2 boats that can go underwater. How awesome is that? Well, not really. Look, as cool as the ability to submerge is, it honestly isn't going to help you much when using the Submarine. Why? Durability. If a shark manages to find you in the submarine, no matter if you are underwater or on the surface, you will get absolutely shredded. And it's even worse when you're underwater because your submarine gets destroyed, so your only chance of survival is to swim upwards, which gives the shark full capability of killing you. So it gets a 2 out of 10 for durability. Maneuverability is honestly the only thing I'd praise about this boat, mainly for the fact that it can go underwater, making most like treasure hunts slightly easier, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10 for that. As for price, despite there being a ton of better boats you can buy on the 2000 price range, like the Flying Dutchman or the Spectre, it is unique and it does its job pretty well, so I'll give it a 6 out of 10 for that, tallying to a score of 15 out of 30. Next you have the Banana Boat and the worst of the jet skis. Why is that? I mean, it costs 49 more shark teeth than the regular jet skis. Shouldn't it be slightly better? Well, I think it's pretty obvious, but it's this thing. This thing in the back does more harm than it does good. For one, it slightly slows the jet ski speed, and if the shark hits it, it just sometimes pulls the jet ski in, basically increasing your hitbox. Oh, and if a player did sit in the back, and the back happened to turn upside down, that player is just leaving a trail of red particles for the shark to see, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I'll give it a 4 out of 10. As for maneuverability, for the reasons I mentioned earlier, it gets a 7 out of 10. And as a price, if you do want the jet ski, just get the green and the pink one instead. They're ever so slightly cheaper and much better, so it gets a 5 out of 10, putting it at a score of 16 out of 30. Next we have the Canopy Boat. Now I finally feel like we're getting to the actual decent boats, and this boat is just that. It's basically like the starter boat except faster, more durable, and just overall better. So it gets a 6 out of 10 for durability, 5 out of 10 for maneuverability, and a whole 6 out of 10 for price, tallying it all the way to 17 out of 30. Next we have the Blue Motorboat. Pretty okay durability, maybe a 5 out of 10 for that. And as for maneuverability, it might not be the fastest boat, but it's certainly up there. It can almost outrun a normal shark, and that's saying a lot for a boat that barely costs any shark teeth. So that's a 7 out of 10 for maneuverability, and a 6 out of 10 for price, tallying up to an 18 out of 30. Same can be said for the Red Motorboat, they're basically the same boat. Next you have the Flying Dutchman. Now I had an overall hard time choosing where to rank this boat because it was just really good. Same goes for all the other boats above this, so I want you to know that from here on, all the boats listed here are all reliable, so you can choose whichever one you find most comfortable. Alright, for the Flying Dutchman, it has amazing durability being one of the largest boats in the game, meaning some sharks will have a hard time dealing with you, and it also has a handful of cannons on board. Granted, 99% of the time you aren't gonna hit your shot, but when you do, its damage is nothing to laugh at, so it gets a 7 out of 10 for durability. As for maneuverability, this boat is fast, like really fast. Though it doesn't have the best turn speed, but it's certainly reliable either when you're running from the shark or chasing it, so it gets a 6 out of 10 for that. As for price, it's probably just me, but if you've grinded all the way to 1500 teeth, you might as well just save up for a slightly better boat like the Destroyer. So overall, I'd give it a 5 out of 10 for price, tallying it all the way to 19 out of 30. Next we have the Military Boat. It is the cheapest of the turret boats, though I do find it sort of boring to use. Its durability is good, you're pretty certain to survive a shark attack, and I'll give it extra points for the turret. That also helps. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10. As for maneuverability, it's a bit fast. Maybe enough to chase but not outrun the shark. So I'll give it an 8 out of 10. As for price, again, same situation as the Flying Dutchman. If you're gonna grind all the way to 3500 teeth, you might as well just save your teeth for a much better boat. So 5 out of 10. Tallying it all the way to 20 out of 30. Next we have the Candy Boat. I feel like this is a much better version of the Swat Boat considering both of them are nearly identical in the price range. Durability wise, it is pretty weak because of the driver's seat is heavily exposed, so it's a 5 out of 10. As for maneuverability, this boat does super well. It's fast and easy to control. Overall, an 8 out of 10. And as for price, considering all the boats in its price range aren't the best, I'd say it's pretty worth getting, so I'll give it an 8 out of 10, tallying it all the way to 21 out of 30. Alright, now we're in the top 10. Next we have the green Jetski. First thing out of the way, durability is absolutely trash. If you are lucky enough to survive the shark hitting your boat, chances are you're gonna have to swim, so that's a 4 out of 10 for durability. However, the fact that this boat is small also helps with the next criteria, maneuverability. And this is where this boat shines the most, because it is fast, super fast, and combine this with the fact that it's small, makes it a living nightmare for an incompetent shark to deal with. Overall, a 9 out of 10 for maneuverability. And then there's price. My opinion, absolutely worth it for the game. It doesn't even cost that much, and compare it to all the other options. Yeah, it's a 9 out of 10, heading it to a score of 22 out of 30. Same can be said for the pink Jetski, they're basically the same boat. Next we have the Destroyer, by far the coolest boat in the game in my opinion. But is it good? Yeah, it's decent. It's a big boat with a whole 3 turrets, 1 for the driver and 2 other for the passengers, meaning you can invite your friends onto your Destroyer and go absolutely bonkers. I also love that the driver's seat for this boat is really well protected, so for durability, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. As for maneuverability, it's pretty fast. Granted, if there's one thing I don't like about this boat, it's that it flips way too easily, but its speed does make up for that, so I'll give it an 8 out of 10. And as a price, I'd honestly just buy the stealth boat instead, but maybe that's just me. You're getting exactly what you ask for whenever you buy this boat, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10 for price, giving it a score of 23 out of 30. Next we have the Deluxe Yacht, the second biggest boat in the game, only smaller than the Titanic. The Deluxe Yacht is incredibly hard to destroy. Even for good shark players, you're kind of forced to slowly penetrate it till there's nothing left. And even then, players can still hide in what's left of the boat, and they won't show any particles. The driver's seat, like the Destroyer, is incredibly protected, so this boat gets a near perfect score of 9 out of 10 for durability. As for maneuverability, this boat is pretty decent. It's still fast, but it's meant to tank the shark more than anything, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10 for maneuverability. And as for price, considering there are plenty of other boats you can get with 1000 shark teeth, I'd say it depends on what you're going for. If you just want to survive and don't really care about killing the shark, then this boat is for you. So I'll give it an 8 out of 10, setting up to a score of 24 out of 30. Next we have the pirate ship. Now for some of you this might be a bit of a shock, but let me explain. First of all, the durability is good. Unlike many of the other boats, you won't immediately get killed if the shark were to attack you. And it also has some cannons that may be of use. So overall, an 8 out of 10 for durability. Next we have maneuverability, and while I agree it isn't the best, it's still fast and can also glitch your boat a few times by ramming into the islands, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10 for that. And all of what I just mentioned, just for 150 teeth. That's just insane. And that gets it a perfect score of 10 out of 10 for price, tallying up to a score of 25 out of 30. And now we're in the top 5, starting off with the Golden Boat. Now if we didn't take price into consideration, this boat would without a doubt rank higher than the Spectre, but sadly, you kind of have to grind for every boat in this game just to get this boat. So, is it worth it? Well, let's talk about its durability. While not perfect, you might survive a shark attack every once in a while when on this boat, but just because of the turret this boat has, and by the way it's a really powerful turret, I'm gonna give it a score of 8 out of 10 just for that. Next we have maneuverability, and without a doubt the fastest boat in the game. They can even outrun most sharks, and decent handling. I don't think it's saying much to give this boat a perfect score for maneuverability, but then we come to price. To answer the question I asked earlier, is it worth it? Well, look, if you're getting these boats just because you want to try them, I won't blame you for getting the Golden Boat. It's a really fun boat to use. But if you're getting these boats just to dominate games, you might be a bit underwhelmed, because this boat is definitely up there as one of the best boats, but it's not really a guaranteed win. And if you buy this boat expecting to beat the Mesosaurus, nah, nothing beats the Mesosaurus. In conclusion, kind of worth it, an 8 out of 10, tallying it to a score of 26 out of 30. Next we have the Spectre. Like I said earlier, this would probably be ranked lower than the Golden Boat if we didn't take price into consideration. So how is it? Well, durability wise, this boat is pretty okay. Weirdly enough, it can still function as a boat even without its entire front destroyed, so I'll give it an 8 out of 10 for durability. As for maneuverability, like the Golden Boat, it's really fast and it has decent handling, so I'll give it a near perfect score of 9 out of 10, just a bit behind the Golden Boat in terms of handling. And as for price, definitely worth it. Look, I know 1,200 shark teeth may sound too much for a boat that just goes fast, but you'll be surprised how effective this is at outrunning most sharks. Overall, I really recommend it, so I'll give it a 10 out of 10 for price, putting it at a score of 27 over 30. Next you have the Titanic, the second most expensive boat in the game. Is it worth getting? Let's see. Durability wise, it's the best in the game. It's the hardest to penetrate and the most time consuming to destroy for any of the sharks, and it is huge in length and size, allowing this boat to store multiple people. And in the situation of the boat getting destroyed, you can either hide in the large piles of rubble without being seen, or get on lifeboats, which are pretty okay. Though the shark can deal with them pretty easily, so I just stick to hiding in the rubble. Overall, an easy 10 out of 10 for durability. As for maneuverability, I won't really take it much into consideration since it's supposed to tank the shark and not outrun it, but it also does a pretty good job of getting you from one side of the map to another, so I'll give it a 10 out of 10 as well. And then we come to price. In my opinion, worth it. Though I have seen a lot of people say this boat is nothing more than a flex, while that is partly true, it doesn't mean this boat is bad. I actually think it's one of the best. In fact, I use this boat way more than the Golden Boat because it's just so much more reliable. Paired with the gift launcher or any high damage dealer, the Titanic is a force to be reckoned with, which is why I'll give it an 8 out of 10 for price, tallying up to a score of 28 out of 30. Next we have the Hovercraft, and by far my favorite boat for the middle game. Why? Let's talk about it. First we have durability. Now this boat is quite small and you probably have a low chance of surviving a shark attack while on it, though I don't think this all matters that much because of one thing. It's maneuverability. This boat has by far the best handling in the entire game, and it's fast enough to even outmaneuver most sharks. Yes, a boat that costs 460 shark teeth can outmaneuver sharks. Now that's saying something. I can't really say how good this boat is, you just need to try it out yourself, and trust me, you will not be disappointed. Overall, a 9 out of 10 for durability, and a perfect 10 out of 10 for both maneuverability and price, tallying to a near perfect score of 29 out of 30. And finally, we have the Stealth Boat. Oh my goodness, where do I begin? Not only is this boat fast, not only does it have a turret that does decent damage, not only can it turn off the boat particles for a short while, not only can it go underwater, not only can it literally fly, but this boat can go invisible. And no, I'm not talking about the particles. I mean, you can literally go underwater, sit on the passenger seat, and the shark won't see any particles, resulting in the shark having to search the entire map just to find you. And for those of you who know how big the map is, you'll know how many spots you don't normally check when you're the shark in a normal round. In fact, this is how I grinded for all the boats in the game, choosing the Stealth Boat, hiding on the passenger seat, and just AFKing for a few minutes. It doesn't matter if the shark is a great white shark or Mesosaurus. It doesn't matter if you're playing double sharks or viral infection, this glitch always works. But let's just say we take the glitch out of consideration. Is the boat still good? Definitely. Durability wise, it's a pretty medium sized boat, and it can still function even with half of its parts destroyed. And it also has a turret, which combined with the fact that you can go underwater, you can literally chase sharks that try to run by going underwater. And it also works the other way around. If a shark is chasing you, you can even backpedal and shoot the shark while it's chasing you. Granted, you're still not gonna die from the Mesosaurus, but with the other sharks, this boat is a nightmare to deal with. This boat also helps a lot in chess rounds since you have pretty good speed and the ability to go underwater. Also, remember what I said about flying? Here's how to do it. Just when you're about to submerge underwater by pressing Q, immediately press E to emerge, and you'll be sent flying in the air like a madman. This works wonders against a shark that's just trying to take a single bite on your boat. So durability and maneuverability wise, an easy 10 out of 10. As for its price of 5,000 shark teeth, I say it's a bit controversial, though in my opinion, absolutely worth it. You're getting exactly what you expect, and if you use the glitch I mentioned earlier, and also its functionality for chess rounds, you're basically getting your money back. Overall, a 30 out of 30, and what I consider the best boat in Sharkbite. Congratulations, you made it through the entire video. Like I said earlier, this is entirely my opinion, and if you happen to disagree on a point I made, I'd love to hear why in the comments. I hope this ranking was somewhat helpful to you and fun to watch. If you'd like to see more content made by me, feel free to click subscribe and press the like button. See ya.